A country as vast as China has countless mountains and forests. People were dependent upon them. The mountains bring people food, fuel, and everything they need. But at the same time, mountains bring fear because you never know what is hidden in. People call the monsters in the mountains 山魈. My great-grandfather once told me about an incident happened when he was young. He used to live and study in a temple called Liaozhai Temple. One autumn, he went back home helping harvest the ripe wheat. But when he returned to the temple after 10 days, while opening the door of the study, he saw the bookcases were covered with dust, while the cobwebs were clinging on the windows, as if no one had cleaned them for 10 years. The great-grandfather was surprised and then called a servant to clean the room, which was not cleaned until the late evening. At last, he was ready to lay down and rest. He made up his bed and closed the door, but as the moon shone through the window, he tossed and tumbled in his bed and could not fall asleep. All is silent and quiet in the room. Suddenly, he heard a strong wind, then the sound of the trees breaking, and the sound of everything colliding in the yard. The great-grandfather heard the wind stopped just at the front door of his room. The great-grandfather was experiencing intense fear. He thought that he was way too close to the monster, and the only way he could escape was just behind the monster. He has been better to take the opportunity to assassinate it. So, he secretly pulled up a sword under the pillow, make a thrust at the monster at the stomach, issue a sound like hitting a stone. The big monster was angered. The big wind blew from the room. The big monster extended a huge claw to catch him. He shrank back a little. The big monster grabbed the quilt instead, and pulling the quilt, laughed angrily. He fell to the ground with the quilt. The wind blew out of the house with the monster, and the door was slammed shut. The great-grandfather shouted, and when the servants came to check, the door was shut, so he then opened the window and jumped in. The servants were completely taken aback at their master's condition. After putting him to bed, great-grandfather slowly told them what had just happened. When they went to check, they found the quilt tucked in between the bedroom door. They took off the quilt and folded it. They saw a paw print as big as a pen on it, penetrating through the place where the fingers were clawing at. At dawn, the great-grandfather dared not stay there any longer and went back home with his bookcase on his back. Later, by inquiring the monks in the temple again, they all said that nothing strange had ever happened again.